Today in the studio, folks, I've got the other half of the Kwak Brothers. You guys remember Daniel was here a while back. We had so much fun. I said, man, let's get his brother Sam out here.
Yeah.
See which one's more fun.
Daniel's more fun.
Who's older?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the Kwak Brothers, they're real estate investors, entrepreneurs, mentors. They wrote a couple books about the real estate market.
Yep.
And they've got a YouTube channel. Go find them. Kwak, Kwak. If I was you guys, I'd have a channel that said, suck my kwak.
No, and we don't plan on making one like that either.
Oh. Yeah, because you guys are all faith-based, I remember.
Yeah,
Very good, well-raised young boys.
We try, and we accept, the world for what it is, but yeah, we respond with faith, right?
Yeah, nowadays you start to see a lot more faith-based people, but they don't mind, dropping an F-bomb. And, in my opinion,
right?
This is just my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. The word fuck, we made that up.
Yeah.
That don't mean anything. We give it the meaning.
Yeah.
Like what if fuck meant tree? Then it wouldn't be a bad thing.
Right.
What if tree meant fuck? Oh my God, I can't believe you said tree.
Right.
So it's like, to me, it's like, dude, it's a made up language.
Sure.
Like we made that shit up. There's no rule against that stuff. It's your intentions, right?
Right.
So we all have those intentions. A girl walks by, you sit there and think about doing something with her. Guess what? Those are intentions.
Right.
You might as well be cheating on your girl if you think that way. You agree or disagree?
Yeah, I mean, the Bible does say don't look at a woman lustfully, right? Lustfully, so.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We all fall short, don't we?
We all do.
Don't we, Sam?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you and your brother grew up until, basically here, but until 8 years old in South Korea.
Right.
I was hoping North Korea.
Dude, that would have been a wicked story.
I know, but I'd love to talk to someone from North Korea.
You need connections?
Yeah.
All
Like
right.
if you can get me someone that lived there and understands North Korea, I'd love to talk to someone. You can get me Kim Jong-un. I'd talk to him too.
We have to talk to Donald, right, and see if you can get an
or
arrangement.
Who's his buddy?
Dennis,
Rodman?
Yeah, Dennis Rodman, yeah.
Like, dude, what's the deal with North and South Korea? Why can't y'all get along?
Oh, man.
One's tyrant and one's like normal.
Yeah. Well, depending on what the definition of normal is, right?
Why doesn't North Korea come take that shit? Or why doesn't South Korea go take that shit and just make it Korea?
Well, they tried that, right, in 1950.
Who's they?
North Korea.
They tried to take South?
They tried, yeah.
Is South weaker?
By military standards, sure, I think so.
So why don't they solicit the U.S. government just to go in and flick that dude in the nose and make it all Korea?
You mean North Korea getting the help from
No, South Korea.
Okay. Well, they tried that.
Yeah, because South Korea is the normal place. Like, we can all go there, live, and you go to North Korea, apparently, and again, I've never been there.
Yeah.
You go to North Korea, and apparently, like, it is on lockdown.
I've seen it.
And I hear when you go there, they let people look like they're having food and everybody's happy.
It's all a show.
But it's all a show. And
all
then, because I saw, and you never know.
Yeah.
I saw someone from North Korea on a podcast or talk show or something.
Yeah.
She was making it sound like it is bad there.
Depending if you're one of the elites, right? I mean, it's a paradise for you, right? You got food, you got people, and people worship you, right? And you got essentially a lifestyle that you can have. But of course, if you're not an elite, right, you're not part of the party, right, as they say, then you're pretty much living in the dumps, right? So interesting. I was reading about the Korean War a couple months ago. Just reading about actually more of the U.S. influence in the war. I was actually really surprised by the amount of sacrifice that the U.S. military made just for the Korean country, right? It's crazy to think. You imagine being a soldier. You're fighting for the freedom of a country that's not even yours. You're there, freezing your butt off. I've seen pictures, guys losing their toes and arms and everything. It's crazy, but they try. General MacArthur and the UN forces, they tried pushing and try to eradicate the North Korean communist forces completely. And of course, China's like, yeah, we're not going to have that. And China
said what?
Screw that, and they sent I don't know the exact number, but millions of troops down the line, and the U.S. is like, yeah, we don't want to escalate this into World War III. That's just not going to happen.
But who is China backing?
China's back in North Korea.
See again, what's
Yeah.
going on there? Because China's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bad boy over there.
Right.
Like
It's China and
they
Soviet.
yeah, but they can whoop on both of you, right?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how like China, like they got freaking 100 billion people sitting there, and all they got to do is send them over there.
It's crazy. And a lot of times they didn't even have weapons.
And I was thinking, why haven't something happened? And that's why,
Mhm.
because like China doesn't want it to.
Oh, no.
There's people over there saying, no, you guys are going to stay divided.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know why though. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like usually you'd think everybody would eventually want the world to be a better place.
You would think. I think part of the reason why is China doesn't want to keep the U.S. at its arm's length, right? They don't want to see a U.S. influenced,
Yeah, but we're not even
capitalist
over
country.
there.
The U.S.?
The U.S. ain't in China.
No, they're not. They're not. But they want to protect their interest. I mean, you look at any model of communism. That's how it is, right?
Yeah, but
Protect.
if I was running China or the U.S., I'd be
Mhm.
worried about the U.S. Like if I
Yeah.
ever ran for president, I want to remove ourselves from a lot of that foreign affairs shit. Like
Yeah.
let China look. China wants to freaking go over there and do whatever they want to do. Fine,
Sure.
whatever they want to do. I don't care
Yeah.
what their money's worth. I don't care what their products are. Well, their labor's cheaper. Will we send our jobs over there?
Yeah.
Dude, that's a business decision. If I know where I can get something for $1 an hour versus I got to pay someone here $20 an hour,
Right.
and I'm a businessman,
Mm-hmm.
I'm building the shit for $1.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, being made in America, made in the USA,
Mhm.
means something again,
Right.
to where everybody in the USA agrees we ain't buying no Chinese bullshit. Period.
Yeah. I mean, we want that to happen, but
I know, but
obviously it's
that's
not gonna happen.
unity,
Right.
Sam. No, we don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the United
Right.
States. It was based on Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not educating you, by the way, because he's been here since 8, and Asians are smarter than everybody. You probably studied this way more. Like Korean War, I don't even know who was in that deal.
Yeah. there were a lot of countries in that war for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to what's the main religion in South Korea? Buddhist?
Yeah, I mean the underlying it's not even not really Buddhism per se. It's more so it's been more of a traditional culture thing. The form of worshiping ancestors, setting up altars for dead ancestors, right?
Well, that ain't Christianity.
That ain't Christianity.
Yeah, so what's the main thing there?
the
Buddhism?
Buddhism for sure is more the
Buddhist? All Buddhists?
No, I wouldn't say so because and I might be citing the wrong source here, but I think it was 20 to 30% of the South Korean population did report that their faith was Christianity, and it's either Catholicism or Protestantism. So yeah, 20 to 30%. In fact, if you go to Korea now, you'll see crosses, and you'll see the steeples and everything.
What's the 70%?
Anything between Buddhism, you got Buddhism.
Did you look into Buddhism?
I have.
So
Like
what do Buddhists think?
What do they believe in, or
Yeah. Well, think, because they don't know shit. Like nobody knows shit.
yeah.
Any religion that thinks they know shit,
Yeah.
I'll challenge any of them because they don't know anything.
Yeah.
They're choosing to believe a particular story that they've heard,
Mm-hmm.
or following their just blind faith. I just believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
Christians believe in the resurrection.
Right.
You just have to.
So what
do Buddhists believe?
What do Buddhists believe? Well, I'm not a Buddhist. I did study a little bit of Buddhism when I was in college. But fundamentally, they believe in, obviously Buddha. He has a different name than Buddha. I just can't remember the name exactly. But it started with his teachings, right, and the philosophies of Buddhism. And Buddhism really isn't. Buddha isn't a god, right? He's definitely more of a teacher, right? And that's I think that's one of the things that people forget. Like Buddha isn't a god. He's just been a teacher, and he's been more of a teacher from the angle of, well, the universe, the world is a god, right? There's a deity, but Buddha says, hey, here's how you live well, and of course, the version of salvation in Buddhism is to be enlightened, and also consequently, the product of enlightenment is to reincarnate into another being. If you do well, if you live well, right, if you're a good person, you incarnate into another person, or ultimately end up being in the heavenly realms.
Now,
yeah.
Is there any Christian-based faith that believes in reincarnation?
Well, so Christianity, if I'm going to go deep, if I'm going to go into theology, we believe in pure resurrection, right? And our theology is based on there's a resurrection, but it's a concept called glorification, whereby we are basically rebirth. Our spirit is rebirth into a new body
through the
that
blood
is
of
perfect.
Christ.
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do they believe in reincarnation?
No.
Okay, so they don't believe in that.
No.
Now, how do you explain it then?
How to explain?
How do you explain
Yeah.
7-year-old kids, 3-year-old kids, 5-year-old kids
Mhm.
knowing something about the past that
Mhm.
nobody in the world could know?
Hmm.
You've never researched it?
No, I never went through
See,
that
dude,
thought
you
at
got to
all.
go research that stuff.
Yeah.
Like when I start looking around at religions, I go
Mhm.
research them.
Right. No, I researched for sure.
So I'm just wondering, like, reincarnation. Scientology pretty much believes in reincarnation.
Right.
Now that you're saying Buddhism,
Yeah.
there's also Kabbalah.
Mhm.
I think they believe that too.
Right.
So like, and there's some stories that exist,
Mhm.
like, factual stories where people are like, we don't know why this kid knows everything that he knows.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I've seen stories. I've read stories about that.
Yes, I'm just wondering how do
Yeah.
we explain that? Because maybe the Buddhists are
Yeah.
correct.
I won't say yes or no, but I will say, yeah, there are phenomenons where I do believe that, and my best explanation, and this is totally disqualified explanation. It's just purely based on my opinion and perspective. But I do believe in spirits. I do believe in a spirit taking over, because when I was in Korea, I did see shamans performing rituals and stuff. And it was crazy stuff, right? I mean, shamans would, they'll do their thing, ritual, and they'll call on specific spirits. So they'll call on spirits of, hey, we're calling on the spirits of a dead general like 1,000 years ago, and then all of a sudden, the spirit will pretty much possess the shaman and speak. And I've seen crazy things like that. So I do believe, if we were talking about something like an anomaly where a kid just knows like 20 different languages, and the dude know like he can recite everything that's happened in the past. I think part of that there might be some correlation where guy might be possessed with a spirit. I don't know. So obviously,
Well, it's not that they speak 20 languages. It's
Yeah.
like there was a kid who loved airplanes, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. Ultimately said he was shot down in an
Mhm.
airplane
Yeah.
in his past lives. They did the research. They asked him all these questions
Yeah.
that no way this little kid would have known any of the answers. He got every single answer correctly out of like hundreds,
Yeah.
except one, which was his birth date. And then after
Hmm.
some researchers went and studied
Yeah.
the birth date that everyone thought he was wrong on, was the only one wrong.
Yeah.
He was actually correct.
Hmm.
The research had to find that answer. Nobody even knew that he was correct.
Wow.
They thought he was wrong till they found out he was correct. Then they started asking him, where did the plane get shot? Where
Mhm.
did you go down into the ocean?
Yeah.
What were your crewmates' names?
Mm-hmm.
And this kid, 7, 10 years old maybe.
Yeah. You figured it out, huh?
He didn't figure it out. He was just saying it.
Right.
Such and such, and I was shot down right there, and I was
Mhm.
hit right here by a MiG-27 or whatever he's
Yeah.
talking about. And they went and did a sonograph or,
Yeah, the line test.
on the ocean
Yeah.
floor. What's that called? Yeah, I think it's sonograph.
Yeah.
What was down there? The
Uh-huh.
exact plane he said he was flying in.
Wow.
Right below where he
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
I went down right here. There is a plane,
Yeah.
like he said he was flying, down there.
Yeah.
Never been discovered before.
Yeah.
Dude, that type of shit makes me go, see, that's proof.
Mhm.
Like, to me, it's like, there's proof there's reincarnation
Mhm.
or something.
Yeah.
So I know there's something going on.
Yeah.
But let's go back. So you move here when you're 8 years old.
Yep.
You go through normal school. Where'd you grow up?
Pretty much Chicago. So if we're talking about United States, I grew up in Chicago.
Chicago.
Yep.
So, yeah, but from 8 on, you're basically an American.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, even though you still lived with an Asian parent
Mm-hmm.
or Asian parent, mindset, which is, to me, just based on, people that I know, they say that, like, very traditional, very
Mhm.
conservative, very strict.
Yeah.
Almost controlling.
Yeah. Very much so.
Is that what yours were?
Yeah. I mean, I love my parents even to now. I think I needed it, right? Because I was one of those. I was a wild kid. I was a troublemaker. I mean, I was playing with fire when I remember being kindergarten
Weren't
playing
we
with
all?
fire. I mean,
Weren't we all though?
Yeah. Well, hold on. So
I damn near burnt down a house, got my ass beat playing with matches.
That's exactly what I went.
But every kid does that, dude. That don't make you a rebel.
Well, but I think now these days we don't let that happen anymore, or at least parents are like, oh, don't play by the staircase. I feel a lot of times parents don't let kids fail anymore, and when kids do, they're like, holy crap, what is this? But yeah, I was a rebellious kid. All throughout middle school, high school. I mean,
But you graduated.
I did.
What was your GPA?
High school or college?
High school.
High school. I think I was at 3.89 or something like that.
So basically, you did everything you were told.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And then you went to college.
Right.
What degree?
I went and got a business administration degree.
And how's that working out for you?
Honestly, I will say that I'm not using anything that I've learned from school, right?
And how do you even know if it's true, the things that you learned at school? If you haven't used them, you can't disprove them, and you can't prove them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to this day, I mean, the only practical information I did, and I would say that the only practical information that I was able to capture and use in a practical manner was accounting. That was about it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, accounting. I think that's absolutely important. And I think everyone ought to learn.
No, accounting.
Yeah,
everybody should have that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like law, like dude, I wouldn't mind going to school to be a lawyer just so I am a doctorate of jurisprudence in the law. I am an esquire. Dude, not having to pay an attorney would have saved me a shit ton.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think knowing the law definitely helps and should know. But whether do I want to practice law as a profession? No.
Who said anything about practice?
No, I definitely will not. I think it's one thing,
but if I just shot you an agreement to read,
right?
You want to go spend $2,000 getting it reviewed?
Oh, no.
Just glance at it because you're familiar.
Oh, for sure. And obviously there's going to be key indicators and red flags, if you know the language, of reading a contract, right? Basic tort law should at least help you prepare whether you're going to get screwed or not, right? In an agreement. So
see, you just use the word tort.
Right.
See,
or common law.
Yeah, but not a lot of people know tort either.
I know. It's crazy.
See?
Yeah.
So you got a business admin degree.
Yep.
That's it?
That's it.
And then you got out, graduated,
yep,
and did nothing with that degree. And you and your brother started doing real estate.
Yeah, we started the business in college. I mean, people were laughing at us, right? They're like, "Oh, you guys are kids. What do you guys know, right? What do you?" I remember going to looking at our first property, and they pretty much just had this attitude, like just leave, right? But yeah, people were laughing at us. One of my professors said, "Hey, focus on your schoolwork. Don't work on extracurriculum, right? You shouldn't be focusing on extracurriculum." And extracurriculum being our real estate business at the time. But yeah, we started business then, and we're here. So
what made you do that though? I don't remember what your brother said. I probably asked him the same question because I'm always wondering what makes people do what it is you do. Why'd you decide? Well, real estate.
Yeah. So before real estate, I started I laugh at myself for this too, but I started a mobile DJ company. So I used to DJ for clubs, and that obviously.
What'd you call yourself?
So my DJ name was DJ Savoy, right? You can still probably look me up on SoundCloud somewhere, and you can probably find me. But
DJ,
yeah, man.
Why Savoy?
So Savoy was a city, I believe, in northern Italy / France that was a prosperous commerce, and I like that. I was like, that's pretty cool. I want to stand for something successful. So I picked that name up. It just like flew out of my tongue. I'm like, this is great. So I was 19 at the time.
But you could have been DJ Hanoi.
Yeah, I'm not Vietnamese.
Isn't it Hanoi? Oh, that's Vietnam.
Vietnamese, yeah. It's all good.
Where's oh yeah, you could have been DJ Soul.
Or Nukem. Yeah, DJ Nukem. Yeah.
DJ Nukem.
Yeah.
That would have been a good one.
Yeah. Dropping bombs, yeah.
What are the two main cities over there?
In Seoul or?
Yeah, like is there no, what do you mean in
South
Seoul?
Korea? Yeah. Yeah, Seoul and Busan are probably the two big metropolitan areas.
And Seoul's huge.
Oh yeah.
If you had to move back right now, where would you live?
Probably Seoul. Yeah. My parents still live there, so.
They moved back.
Yeah, they did.
Are you grateful as hell they came here, or you don't really care?
I am very, very glad and grateful that I got to be here, for sure.
Do you go back and visit?
Yeah, actually, it's funny you ask, because I just got back Monday. So I was gone. I was there for a month.
Okay.
And I just got back.
Do you ever worry that they won't let you back in?
You know what? That happened to me when I went there this go around. In fact, well, Korea right now, you have to take a COVID test, right, to get there. You have to take a COVID test, show a negative result within 72 hours. So first time I got there, right, show them the result, and they look at me and say, "Hey, this is the wrong test. This is the wrong result." And I thought they were pulling my leg, right? I'm like, they'll probably let me in, but they pull me aside, put me in a room for 3 hours, and basically at the end, they're like, "Hey, you got to go back. We're gonna fly you back to Dallas," which was my layover from Chicago. And I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" So I was literally waiting at the gate because the next flight wasn't until the next day, like 24 hours, and no bed, no nothing, right? Just a little reminiscence of my military days, and then flew back to Dallas, got my test, and got the negative result. Went and flew back. I honestly thought they wouldn't let me in forever after that.
Dude, that is a freaking story right there. You had to fly all the way back just to get a test. Why didn't they test you?
Dude, I asked the same question. I was like, "Hey, I'm more than willing to pay. Well, I don't know what the cost is, as long as it's reasonable. Willing to quarantine if you want me to quarantine, just let me in." And they said, "No, we can't do that." And so they sent me back. I took the right test, waited a day or so, and then flew back again. So I've crossed the Pacific, like 4 times.
Do you live in Dallas?
No, I live in Chicago, or suburbs of Chicago, to be exact.
Like Hennepin?
What's that?
Hennepin?
Where's Hennepin?
Hennepin, Illinois?
No, Hennepin, Illinois. No,
it's right outside of Chicago.
Yeah, I live in western suburbs of Chicago. So
fancy house?
No, I live in an apartment.
Really?
Yeah, I sold the house, and
do you and your brother have a bunch of money?
Do we have a bunch of money?
Who's got more?
I think we're pretty much equal. We're 50-50.
But do you have a bunch of money yet?
Do we have a bunch of money by what standard?
10 million or more.
Oh, no.
Not yet?
No.
You're still working on that level?
Still working.
So you're a single-digit millionaire.
I would say so.
What if you liquidated everything? Because don't you guys have a bunch of properties too?
We do. Yeah.
I thought it was you. Maybe it was somebody else. It was you two that wrote a book that you about freaking how to buy a bunch of houses.
Yeah, we have a book like that.
What's the book called?
Yeah, we have a book called 0 to 75 units in 1 year. That's it. Yeah.
So you guys just bought the shit out of places. I thought,
just 1 year.
And it doesn't even equal 10 mil yet?
No. Well, you look at, properties in Chicago, you're looking at, you can buy a 24-unit apartment building for $1 million, right?
No kidding.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for real. I mean, I don't know what the market's probably changed considerably.
How's the occupancy?
Right now, all of our properties have tenants.
But what occupancy rate?
100%. So
all of them
right now. I mean, I was a little worried about, through the whole COVID pandemic, right? I thought I was going to lose a couple of tenants and, I'll probably have tenants that don't pay. But surprisingly, I was incredibly blessed. Not a single tenant was late. I had tenants paying. So
why don't you go in and raise the rent?
I do.
All right. So you're the landlord?
Yeah, I run a management company as well that also manages our own property. So
do you own the company? The management company?
Much. Yeah.
Because is that company looking for other deals to manage or just your own?
Just our own for now. Yeah, and then we're right now. I don't know if my brother Daniel told you, but we are focused on growing our private equity company. Mostly investing down in Florida. So yeah, that's what we're focused on mainly now.
Are you looking for investors?
Absolutely.
So if anybody's listening, they want to join the Kwak Brothers, just throw their money into your kitty, and you guys will go out and do all the work and just pay a return.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
A lot of people doing that nowadays.
Yeah, it's scary and great at the same time.
Well, you just got to find good people that you trust.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, dude, if you have 5 good companies, and they're all real good companies, it's relationship.
Oh, it's all about relationships.
Yeah, it's like, who do I like better? Where am I going to put my money? I don't know. Who do I trust the most out of all 5 of these? And if you get to a point where it's like, hey, they're all pretty good people, which one's going to perform better? It would be the next one.
I think there's a lot of companies out there, whether it be private equity funds or syndication funds. I think a lot of skill sets could be acquired, it could be attained, it could be bred. I think the biggest piece, and your listeners probably agree, ethics is a big question. Personalization and character is a big question mark as well. Because a lot of times you'll probably invest in a company, and a lot of times you'll succeed. But it's one of those things where if the the private equity company comes down to where, they're either out of money or they lost money. What do the owners or the managers do? How do they respond? Are they going to respond with integrity? Are they going to respond with honesty and say, hey, we messed up, and let's, give us the opportunity to make it right and at least pay you back the original principle. I think that's rare. In the economy right now.
You said military. When did you go there?
Yeah.
And for what? For the U.S.?
For the United States, yeah.
See, this one I don't get, dude. Yeah. You're not a citizen, technically.
I'm a citizen right now.
Okay, good. Yeah. But were you then?
No.
That's what I don't understand. So, like, you're not good enough to give you a citizenship, apparently, but I can let you in our military to go die for us. How does that make any sense? I think if you're in our military, you are an automatic citizen.
Oh, that's what they do. That's what they do. In fact, when I got shipped out and we were in what's called processing, the first day they put us in a room and said, hey, if you're not a citizen, raise your hand. We're going to get your application started like right now. And I had guys and gals in my training unit, literally at the end of the boot camp, they had their citizenship. They were sworn in.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Good. I've restored a little faith in the United States. Well, dude, sometimes I mean, obviously, I think the United States is the greatest country on earth. But sometimes the bureaucracy and the way the government works is just stupid.
Yeah,
it's like even like immigration, dude. The wall and all that. People get offended. Oh, why put up a wall? Just stop people coming in. Illegally. Right. Like, I'm not against, hey, you want to come in? The door's over there. Don't climb the fence. Go through that door so we know who's coming and going.
For sure.
Like, to me, that's just common sense. Well, when I go to Mexico, dude, they have the same shit.
Exactly.
Okay, so when I go to Italy, they have the same shit.
Yeah. Well,
like, why is the U.S. always condemned for wanting some sort of order and control?
Well, let me tell you this, Brad. I think there's a narrative out there, and by the way, I rarely share my politics and viewpoints. So consider lucky that I'm sharing this here, right?
Come on, that's why we drop bombs, folks. That's why we drop bombs.
So I think there's a narrative, and I'm not going to say the names of the party, but there's a narrative out there that say, oh, America is totally anti-immigration, totally anti letting people in. I mean, come on. Like my wife, she immigrated here 3 years ago, right? And she was
where?
From South Korea. So, and just looking even at her example, I'm like, that's totally, her story is totally counter to the narrative that America is totally anti-immigrant, right? Because she came in, of course, she married me, but she came in, applied for the visa.
Is that why she married you?
No, heck no. But she got the visa. She went through the application process. Went through the interview process, did all the paperwork, and now she's got the permanent residency, and she's on track to get her citizenship in 3 years. I mean, America's not anti-immigrant. We're anti-illegal, anti-people just coming in without, without any kind of, proof that they're a good person. That we want good people here in the United States, and we want people who have good intentions. They want to share in the economy. Exactly. So, but at the same time, I know looking at the other side and the other perspective, you have people, like myself who may have came to the United States at a young age, outside of their will, and they might be illegal, and they might not have a documentation to be here. And I think there's going to be some balance where we do give them a path, an opportunity, for citizenship, right? As long as they're willing to pay taxes, they're willing to participate in civil duties. I think there should be some kind of an opportunity or path for citizenship for sure.
I agree. I think military who get wounded should never have to pay taxes again.
Yeah.
Like legitimate wounds.
Yeah.
Not
Purple
like,
heart,
not like I got shot in the arm and now I got a little scar right there.
Right.
Everything
you
works
lost
fine.
an arm or you lost your leg.
Serious shit like that.
Yeah,
dude,
for sure.
you do that for this country, boom. We don't need your tax money.
Yeah.
You've earned your taxes for life.
Yeah.
Because what's the average taxpayer going to pay over a lifetime? Probably not that much.
Yeah.
The average taxpayer.
Yeah, and most people get refunds. So,
well, not only that, dude. Like, you listen. Like, if you come to work here and you lost your legs for this company, dude, I'd be like, you don't have to. You don't have, hours. You can come and go as you please.
Yeah.
Like, thank you very much. I'd be so grateful for people.
Right.
I don't know why. Anyway, so like on one hand, I'm all obviously pro-U.S. There's no better country in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah.
But then there's some stupidity that we should just fix.
Yeah.
But then you realize we can't fix it. You know why? Because there's no we. The unity is gone.
Yeah. Well, there's also there's an argument, or at least a school of thought that has said that the government is looking to create inefficiencies on purpose so that they can create jobs. I mean, like there's, in private sectors, we're always trying to automate, we're trying to increase profit, we're trying to eliminate the steps in creating that profit. But there's I don't know who said this, but there's a thought that the government, they will actually purposely create inefficiencies and create extra steps so that they can create those jobs. But those jobs are, I mean, I hate to say this, but they don't really have a purpose or a meaning. And a lot of times, people who do those jobs, they don't like it. They're miserable.
And they're minimum wage.
Exactly.
Everybody should be in commission-based compensation programs.
Performance-based.
At least
Yeah.
on the side.
Performance-based. Absolutely.
Performance. Well, again, commission.
Yeah.
You call it performance?
I call it performance and result-based.
Yeah, but if you don't get commissions.
Yeah.
What
do you think is the difference between performance fees / paying for by results?
For example, a football player's on a performance-based compensation plan where if he runs 200 yards, that's performance.
Right.
He'll get a bonus of $50,000, but it's still limited.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
The commission means you're getting a piece of the productivity all the way to the highest of limits.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I always say commission, because performance, performance bonuses and shit like that, no, they're still limited, dude. Mm-hmm. How does an individual participate in all there is to participate?
Right.
If they're not doing that, they're limiting themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wouldn't advise it. I'd tell people, dude, I mean, you mentor and coach people in real estate, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the new thing you guys are showing people how to do where everybody's freaking out and want you to hire them? To show them how to save money and time or some shit.
It's actually not new. This is a concept, and if I think I know where you're going at, this is a concept that I was actually founded by Australians and people in New Zealand. So this is fairly common in overseas. They do this like a normal thing. So this is a whole concept where definitely out of the norm, but it is a strategy where we can show people how to pay off their mortgage in 5 to 7 years. So let me kind of like rewind.
30-year mortgage?
A 30-year on average. So let me kind of backtrack. So I learned of the strategy. I attended a seminar, I think 4 or 5 years ago. Attended a seminar, and this was the process of Dana and I trying to learn real estate. We're attending seminars, reading books, courses, the whole 9 yards, right? So in that journey, we were picking up these other kind of ancillary skill sets, like sales and negotiation. But one of the
and by the way, not to interrupt.
Yeah.
Those are key.
Oh, for sure.
Skill sets.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't call them ancillary. Those are critical. Those are key. If you guys listening don't have the ability to sell, close, and persuade people,
for sure,
run on over to mycloserschool.com and let me give you that, because that's the only reason I have an 8-figure company. That is the only reason a lot of my 8 and 9-figure buddies and 10-figure buddies are where they are.
Yeah.
Sales.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Closing.
100%. In fact, the earlier part of my career in business, I started out as an affiliate. So affiliate to a company. So that's all I was doing is getting on the phone call, setting appointments, follow up, doing email broadcast. All I was doing for 3 years, right? So, but in the process of learning real estate investing, went to a seminar, and this was a concept they talked about. I was kind of bewildered because they were talking about using other forms of debt to pay off mortgage, and I was bewildered by the fact that hold on. So why aren't we talking about a better way of paying off our mortgage? And
we'll bust it out here for the for the team without charging us.
Yeah, for real. So I realized that I looked at these recent statistics. Quarter one of 2020, the average American, or the American population total, we were in $14.3 trillion in debt, consumer debt. I mean, they're talking about mortgage, auto, student loan. By the way, student loans increasing, crazy, it's like super fast. But $14.3 trillion, and we are not in a better place than 2008. 2008, we were around $12.8 trillion in terms of debt, and then we had a little bit of slump. But quarter one, 2020, $14.3 trillion, most of it is mortgage. And I'm thinking, like, why aren't we talking about a better, innovative ways to start paying off our mortgage faster? I mean, we have better phones, we have better technology, we have better TVs, we have better technology for a lot of the different consumer stuff. But why aren't we developing new technology to start paying off our debt to improving our financial literacy as well as financial understanding of things. So this strategy came to me 4 or 5 years ago, and I started sharing. I learned it, and I was like, "This is the coolest thing in the world. This is so revolutionary." And I wasn't the first one to talk about this. This was being talked about back in 2006, and I shared a YouTube video in 2017, and I was just like, I was explaining what I learned. I wasn't really expecting I was going to get views or subscribers from it, but 2018, the video just blew up. I mean, it was the last time I checked today, it was at 3.9 million views.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we made another video that was more of a follow-up, more updated and a little bit more crafted, and that one's at 1 million views. And then we just made another one a couple months ago, pretty much the same content, but packaged it a little bit differently and improved my delivery. And that one's at, I think, 60,000 views, and it's climbing. It's getting 2,000 views a day. So something's up here, and people want to improve. People want to pay off their mortgage faster. A lot of it has to do with baby boomers. People in their 50s, 60s looking to retire. And it's crazy because I look at some of these individuals, they're 62 years old, and they have 20 years left to go in their mortgage. And I'm looking at them, you're like, it's not going to happen.
Well, let me ask you this. How much money do you save them in taxes by accelerating it 20 years?
I don't know about taxes, but I can for sure say that anywhere between 50 to 66% of the interest they would pay.
I meant interest, not taxes.
Yeah. I picked up on that. So we, by general and average, and this is not, guaranteed, clear-cut guarantee, but anywhere between 50 to 66% of the interest they would have paid.
So someone buys an average house of
Yep.
300, is 300,000 an average house?
I would say so.
$300,000 on an average house, 30-year loan,
Mm-hmm.
normal 4.9 interest rate.
Yeah.
Nowadays, even
It's
though
like 3.5
it was one, like point something, right?
for the prime rate, or
Like something just happened where, like, dude, they were giving money away, and everybody was
it was at zero.
was refinancing their homes quick.
Yeah. Well, and I'll talk about why refinancing is a deadly trap. I think a lot of people refinance, and they're getting themselves screwed.
Why?
And I'll share in just one sec. But yeah, the average is around 50 to 67%. Again, just an average figure. I don't want anyone getting too crazy excited, but 67%. So the idea of refinancing. Here's the problem with the 30-year mortgage, which, by the way, the whole 30-year amortization is relatively new. Prior to 80s, 15-year, 10-year, 5-year mortgage, that was a normal thing.
Dude, you do that with RVs, bro, not home.
Yeah. That was back in the day, right? You look at 70s and 80s, people. You look at the stats as far as what people were borrowing on and the interest rate. I mean, the interest rates were super high. I mean,
that's back when the bushes were hairy, though.
15.
Wasn't a good time.
Yeah. So 80s, late 70s, you were looking at like 15, 17% interest rate, right, for a mortgage. But the argument I make is that, and a lot of people say, the interest rate is super low. It's never been this low. But here's the main differentiator between 80s and today is because the amortization length. People back in the day, sure, they got a 15% loan or 16% loan, but they were paying them off in 5, 10, 15 years. So with the shorter amortization, they're not going to pay as much interest. They're not going to spend as much time paying off their home. But now, ever since the birth of FHA programs, a lot of these first-time home buyer programs, 30-year thing is the norm. And here's the problem with the 30-year thing, right? Here's what it is, and this is where the average Americans are getting screwed, like no other. And that happens. There's two things. First is that the average American today are moving or selling their house, or some major life event happens every 7 to 10 years, because economy is like this. Right? We don't, the whole day and age where you work for a company for 40 years, you retire and collect pension, I think those days are done.
Shit, dude, those days been done back in the 60s.
Yeah, they're gone, right?
Who does that?
Yeah, they're gone, right? So people who rely on that, I mean, you're screwed. You are terribly screwed. I mean, I'm not even kidding. I mean, I can't be any more serious than that. So average American, there's a study out there that shows that average American move, sell, or switch jobs every 7 to 10 years, right? Now, there's a huge migration thing, right? California to Texas, Illinois to Tennessee. A lot of people are moving. So what ends up happening is when people sell their house, 7 to 10 years, if they have a 30-year mortgage, if you look at any 30-year amortization
they paid
schedule,
all interest, damn near.
That's it. So here's the problem. They get to the 7-10 year mark. They haven't quite built their equity and their principal balance yet. So by the time they sell and they close, they're walking with very little at closing, right? And then they go buy another house, get another 30-year amortized loan. Guess what? They're basically starting all over again.
Can't you send money to your bank, say, hey, put that 30 towards the principal?
You can, but here's the problem. It locks up your equity. Right, because no one anticipated COVID-19 in 2020.
How does it lock up your equity?
Yeah, so if you send extra payments to your mortgage, right, as a principal payment, that's an alternative. I think it was a working strategy back in the 90s, but I think it's not as effective anymore. And here's why: if you send extra payments to your mortgage, if you ever need the money back, you can't. It's locked up unless you go refinance. Right?
You can't get an equity loan.
You could, but that takes time. That on an average, an equity loan takes a couple weeks.
If I have $500,000 equity in my house, how long does it take to get $20,000 back? $20,000 out of it?
Probably, well, depending on what the banks are doing, a couple weeks, a couple days.
Really? I thought it was one visit to the bank.
Now these days, it's a couple days, couple weeks, man. And I remember back in April, people were applying for loans. It was a huge frenzy back in April and May. I mean, people were refinancing off. I mean, it's crazy. It was crazy because the rate dropped. Federal Reserve said, hey, we're going to drop it down to 0. This whole COVID thing has caught everyone by surprise. So with the equity locking, right, it doesn't give you as much flexibility. And COVID-19 kind of proved that, all right, you're going to need some emergency, right? So if you lock up the equity, you're not going to get that money back. Or on an upside, what if you need that money if you want to invest? You want to go buy a rental property, or you want to invest in a company, or whatever you want to invest in, right? So there is an alternative where our strategy actually provides you extra liquidity, gives you that boost. I know a lot of people say, well, Sam, hold on. I got 6 to 9 months of savings. I'm okay. I'm taken care of. But my counter argument or my rebuttal to that is, well, what is your savings account paying you? Like 0.5%, right? Your checking account is 0. Inflation's at 2.1%. So basically, government's telling you your dollar is worth 2% less every year. So why do you keep your money in your savings account? Well, that's what we were used to do, and that's the mindset that a lot of people have. Well, that worked in the past. Well, not anymore, right? So
what? So if I asked you
Yeah.
for your advice, I'm a new home buyer.
Sure.
And I say, should I go 15-year or 30? What would you say?
There's an alternative. Neither. There's an alternative.
Because I always tell people go 30, and here's why. I call it 30 in case.
Mm-hmm.
30 in case what? 30 in case you need that payment as low as
possible.
It can possibly
Right.
be.
Yep.
That's what you agreed to.
Mm-hmm.
30 in case.
Right.
And then you do, I don't know your method, but you pay that shit off earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So you save all that interest that you
Right.
would have paid.
Yep.
And I forget who it was, but someone told me you make your payment. Let's say your payment's $1,800.
Sure.
You pay your $1,800 and then you send another $5 right after it and say principal only, please.
Right.
And the $1,800 goes like normal that you agreed to pay,
Right.
which, let's say $1,300 of it goes to interest.
Right.
Get that interest paid off first.
Yeah.
Principal, tiny bit. But then when you boom, just principal.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon, like that's
Yeah.
how you do it.
Yeah. So our strategy does follow that underlying philosophy, but there's a different mechanism as to how we do it. I know I'm trying to pull.
Do you loan yourself money?
No. So,
dude, everyone's going to want to know how to do it now.
Yeah,
where do they go to find out how to do it?
Yeah.
If we don't get to it.
Yeah. So I did. So there's a video out on our YouTube channel. I mean, it does a really good job explaining what the problem is with your mortgage, why you need to do this strategy. I think my opinion says everyone should be doing this strategy. I don't care if you're a first-time homeowner, this is your second home, third home. Everyone out to do this strategy. So we have a video out there on YouTube that's going to show you. Just go and search how to pay off.
Kwak Brothers on YouTube.
Just search how to pay off your mortgage in 5 to 7 years. You'll see my face. Yeah.
You and your brother, or just you?
It's just
Do
me.
you guys do videos separately?
Yeah, so Daniel is really good at macroeconomics. He's more the big picture guy. He can kind of read the economy more. I'm definitely more micro, very detail focused. You basically tell me which direction we got to go. I'll build you the fastest car that's gonna help you get there.
Yeah, and your guys' YouTube channel is very organized and helpful.
Oh, really?
If somebody's in the real estate game or
Yeah.
wanting to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I told everyone to go there last time I was checking it out when Daniel was here. So Daniel's the younger brother. You're the
Yes.
how much older are you?
Year and a half.
And which is basically same age.
Yeah, he's 27. I'm 28. So.
But I mean,
Yeah.
your parents popped you out, popped him right afterwards. Any
Right.
other siblings?
No, that's it. Yeah.
And then when they moved here, when you were 8 years old,
Mhm.
when did they leave? How old were you?
They left 2013, so I was 21, I think, 21 years old.
And did
Yeah.
they say, come back, or do you want to stay?
I think they did give us a choice, and I said, no, we're sticking around.
Are they wealthy?
No.
Just traditional?
Yeah, so we try to take care of them as much as possible.
Are they happy you guys are successful now?
I think so. Yeah, for sure.
See, that's why
Yeah.
Asian parents are so strict. They want to
Yeah.
make sure their kids are freaking successful.
Yeah, but you got to be careful though, because that could very much turn toxic. It is a norm, and it's a definitely a undertone expectation that the Asian parents want their kids to take care of them when they cannot physically work anymore. That is the traditional.
Well, there's the
pattern.
flaw.
Yeah.
There's the flaw in the thinking.
Yeah.
Asian parents do that so they can be taken care of.
That's it.
See, that's a selfish reason to do that.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? So, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a larger group of Asian parents out there, and I love my parents to death.
Well, it's smart
I
and
love
it's
my
safe,
parents.
but it's selfish.
Yeah, it is. So you got to look at the Asian community and just how the culture is built. It's everything's for the family, right? It's very collective.
Is that pretty much all Asian? And by the way, when I say Asian, like to me, and forgive my stupidity
yeah
or my naivete, Chinese, Korean,
Yeah.
Vietnamese, they're all Asian.
Oh yeah. They all stem from the same Confucius teaching. The honor your parents.
Confucius.
Yes, Confucius.
That's who I
teaching.
was thinking of earlier.
Oh, okay.
Confucius.
Got it, yeah. Yeah,
Confucius say, man who stand on toilet
Yeah.
is high on pot.
That's funny.
Confucius say, man who
Yeah,
run
yeah.
behind the car
Yeah.
get exhausted. You have any good ones?
Love your dad jokes, man. I gotta borrow those. I'm taking them home. Yeah. Gotta use it on my daughter.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'll help you out.
Yeah.
I got a million of them.
Love it.
Okay, keep going. Where were you? And by the way,
Yeah.
you should have listened to Daniel's episode. Like, dude, we'll be talking about one thing. Next thing you know, something pops in my head. We're talking about high school sweethearts and shit.
Oh, yeah.
So keep me on focus because I want people to get these bombs on refinancing their house and
that's
getting out
right.
of debt.
Yeah. So here's the deal, right? So we talked about the fact that every 7 to 10 years, people are moving, jumping around, downsizing. Their kids are, they're empty nesters. What happens is if you get to the 7 to 10 year mark, if you started a 30-year mortgage 10 years ago, you sell your house today, you're not going to see much equity. You're just not. And you go buy another house with another 30-year mortgage. The problem is you just now basically started from square one. So you never get to the part where, post 15 years, that's where most of your principal, balances pay down. So most Americans today in that lifestyle and the cycle, they never get to the principal payment zone ever. And that's the problem. The second problem is that people gets seduced by the whole idea of refinancing. It's the same thing as car payments, right? People are so focused on payments. They're like, I'm gonna go save $100, $200 on my payments, if I go refinance. But very little people, small group amount of people, rarely will go look at the total interest paid and how much they're prolonging the interest that they're going to be paying through the life of the loan. So it's the whole idea of short-term thinking, right? They don't really think about what's going to happen in 30 years. So when they go and get refinanced and they refinance into another 30-year mortgage and they think they're saving money because they're dropping 0.25%, little do they know, they got to start all over from square one. They reset the clock and vast majority of their monthly payment is going to interest. I mean, had they stuck around, they would have probably gone to that post 15-year mark where more of their payments is going towards principal. And that's the problem. And that happens quite frequently, and that it's a shot in the foot essentially.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for equity nowadays, dude, people ask me, and just lease the damn house. Air conditioner goes out, not your problem.
That's me.
Pool
That's
goes
me,
out, not your problem.
Yeah, that's me.
Anything crazy goes on, not your problem.
Yeah.
Big ass homeowners association fees, not your problem.
Dude,
Taxes, not your problem.
I did not like. I didn't like the HOA rules. Yeah, I owned the home. I did the whole home ownership thing for three years, and I did not like one bit of it, man. I was like, I remember our hot water heater went out. I'm like, I gotta pay for that. I gotta take care of that. It's a headache. It's not the cost thing. It's more of, I gotta worry about it. It's always in my mind, right? I gotta mow the lawn. Of course, I had landscapers come in, but I had to if I forgot to schedule something, there goes my code violation for tall grass, right? So, my brother and I, we decided, hey, let's sell that thing and let's go rent. We're renting an apartment, and I'm thinking to myself, because I don't have to worry about snow. We have snow up there, so I don't have to think about plowing snow, grass. If something's damaged, call the maintenance guys. They're there the next day fixing
Pipes
it.
broke, don't worry about it.
That's it. And I'm solely focused on my business, right, and spending more time going to business and with the family.
So do you have more homes or apartments?
I have more apartments.
Don't you think apartments are a smarter move than a single family?
Depending on what you want, what your goals are. Right?
Well, because I think you can make money on both.
Yeah,
but
sure.
but I think you're safest is on an apartment building. And the reason why is because it's very rare everyone's going to move out at once, but it's guaranteed when it's a single family that you're renting. Like when that sucker moves out, dude, they're out. Like there's nobody paying the rent. Now, what if you can't rent it for 3 months?
What I noticed is that it's interesting you say that, because one thing I noticed between my apartment tenants versus my single family tenants, I see a lot more turnovers in my apartment tenants. I mean, they're in, they're out, probably 1 or 2 years, 3 years at most. My single family tenant, holy smokes, they've been around for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a bonus.
Yeah, and I think the mindset is a lot of families move in to single family.
Do they ever come into you and say, dude,
how
about some upgraded carpet?
Yeah, we try to turn things around every 5 to we have a life cycle for each of the items. So like flooring, it's 5 years. Paint.
Even if they still live there?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They don't even have to ask?
Yeah, we try to upgrade as much as possible, and
that'd be nice.
Yeah, that also has to do with making sure that our properties don't fall behind on what the market's doing, right? Because we don't want to have laminate flooring when everyone else around the neighborhood is doing vinyl or hardwood, right?
What about engineered wood?
I leave that with my contractors. I tell them, hey, tell me what you do, what's popular around the area and put it in. Or the best way is talk to a local real estate agent and like, hey, what's selling these days? What's popular? And they'll tell, hey, it's the whole the lockable vinyl thing. I'm like, all right, put those in the house. And we try to keep up with the trends so that if we do end up selling or we want to get rid of it, we're going to be on par with the rest of the market.
Do you teach that?
Yeah.
By the way, folks, if you guys want to learn how to start buying real estate, they got a whole freaking A to Z. They give you a lot of information. Plus, they've got coaching and masterminds and like consultations, one-on-one shit. That's what you guys do. You invest and you show other people how you're doing it.
Absolutely.
And then the thing we were just talking about, if you guys have a 30-year mortgage and you want to learn how to get it paid off, just go to the kwakbrothers.com or go to their YouTube and Google that. What do they Google?
Yeah, how to pay off your mortgage in 5 to 7 years.
How to pay off your mortgage in 5 to 7 years. And the benefit of that is obviously you'll have equity by the time you want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is, if you never gave the money, right, you wouldn't need equity because the money's still in your bank.
Right.
So, like, what's the difference?
So you're talking about renting versus buying? Is that?
No, I'm talking about like you teach them how to pay it off. That's got to be send them more money than you were because you can't. Yeah. There's no trick that I just keep doing what you're doing and all of a sudden it's magic.
There's a trick. It's not magic.
But you give them more money than you were intending to. It's like you put money in a piggy bank.
Yes and no. There's a duality to this, and I'm trying to build intrigue here, but there's a duality where it's crazy. Like if more people actually read what's called the Truth in Lending Statement, they would know how to save money. Like the Truth in Lending Statement surprisingly tells you how to save money in your mortgage, and people just kind of glance over and they don't really pay attention.
Their first house, they're just signing all the documents.
Off, right? If more people read the Truth in Lending Statement or Regulation Z as they call it, I think more people will be smart.
Reg Z is what they call Truth in Lending?
Yeah, it's part of the package, the disclosure for consumer. It's under the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and the whole 2012 Dodd-Frank stuff. I mean, we can get into that, but yeah, if more homeowners read as to what they're getting themselves into and how the interest is calculated, the proof is in the math. I mean, you look at the math, you'll figure it out.
You have any houses in Texas?
I don't, but I want to.
Well, dude, look at what just happened.
I know, no masks.
All the pipes broke.
Oh,
no. That's a good thing.
I'm talking about the good stuff. I focus on the positive. You know what I mean?
Dude, I told my wife, start looking around in Texas because, dude, I might just get a spot there just to hang out until the rest of the country opens up. But I want to kind of keep my eye on Texas.
Mm-hmm.
What if everybody starts literally, sickness gets worse? I can't tell if this freaking pandemic's for real or it's a scam or what the frick is going on.
I was skeptical from the beginning.
Dude, go look at my videos. I was as skeptical as anybody. I hate wearing masks. I won't wear them because if it does exist, you're still going to get it with or without a mask. So fuck it. Masks are stupid. Now, again, I'm not talking about the correct gear, the shit they wear when they go in to clean up a freaking biohazard. Like, wear that shit. But your little panties mask that people are wearing that looks literally like panties on your face, those ain't stopping anything. Dude, the COVID thing is
it's super small.
Supposedly, if you can smell a fart, you can get COVID.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a medical
Well, that's what the scientists say. They even say it just like that. They say if you can smell a fart, then you can get COVID.
I think the more so. I
believe?
And
you want to know something else, Sam?
Yeah, go for it.
Ironically, that's a COVID test.
You think so?
Sure.
Oh, I saw about that. I read about that. I was
you fart if they can't smell it or taste it. Then they may have COVID.
That was circulating when I was in Korea, right? So I was in Korea for a month, and I'm like, what the heck are people talking about, right? And I was like, it's one of those Facebook stupid things. People are, circulating.
I started it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's because you roll up on a group of dudes.
That's
your
hilarious.
buddies, you rip one,
and
when they get all pissed, you just say COVID test, bro. I'm just trying to give you COVID test.
I think I had it.
When?
I'm pretty sure I had it. Back around August, September-ish.
What'd you feel like?
Yeah, it was weird because it was a Saturday, and I woke up dead tired. I was just worn. And then next thing I know, I'm like perfectly fine. I'm like, all right, I don't know what that was about. And then 2 hours later, I'm like, I got a mild fever. It was like 99.7, 99.8. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? And that goes on for about an hour. I'm like just hot, right? And all of a sudden I feel fine again. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Just really weird. And it made me tired again. So it was just like a repeat cycle. And I just ended up going to bed. I'm like, screw this, I'm going to bed. My Saturday's fried. I'm just gonna go to bed. Next morning I wake up perfectly fine. But what ended up happening the rest of the week, I lost my sense of smell and taste.
You had it then?
Yeah, I had it. So, I was eating. I'm like, why does this taste like rock? Like, I don't taste anything. And then my wife is like, yeah, I think you have COVID. And then I recovered from that. And then my wife ends up getting it. Same symptoms.
Did you refuse to get tests?
I didn't get tested, but my brother did.
Did he have it?
Yeah, he came back positive. And then I knew from that moment, all right, I have COVID. Like
what about the wife?
She didn't get tested.
So you guys just stayed home, or did you run around?
Stayed home.
Because that's the thing. There's people listening to this right now. They fucking think they got COVID. Guess what?
Yeah.
They run around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, that's the part that I would say, guys, folks, come on.
Yeah.
If you actually believe you have I got COVID.
There it is.
If you believe you have COVID,
yeah.
Stay the fuck home.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, you could literally give it to an elderly person and freaking kill them. Now, you can do that with the flu. You stay home with the flu too, don't you?
Right.
Like if I ever get the flu, I stay the fuck home.
Yeah.
I don't run around.
Yeah.
But with COVID and like you had it, but you couldn't really, tell. It's like, I think I have it, dude. As soon as you think you have it, you are obligated to stay your ass home.
Yeah, I was home pretty much, and I started working from home. Same thing with, my wife didn't go anywhere, so it was just me and my wife just at home. But I'm pretty sure I had it, and if I did have it, I'd probably have some antibodies built up.
Supposedly only last 6 months.
Yeah. So,
but now Texas is wide open,
scot-free. Yeah,
scot-free. Everything's back to normal, dude.
Yeah.
This sounds great, unless there is.
We'll have to see the data, man.
Unless there is an actual pandemic.
Yeah. Well, so like the whole do I believe COVID exists? Yes. Do I think it is deadlier to a certain group? Yes. But I think the part that irks me the most was I think it was politicized.
Sure, it was.
And that irked me the most. Right?
Me too.
Like why are people using a virus to weaponize it? And the other thing that I was very frustrated was people won't acknowledge it, but there's a real thing called COVID shaming, right? Like, you don't wear a mask, hey, shame on you. Like you're kind of ostracized and you're outcasted. And also what I was more concerned about, rather than just COVID itself, although COVID is something to be concerned about, but what I was more concerned about is the mental illness, man. I mean, more divorce rates, people are, suicides, contemplating suicides, depression. I mean, those things do have long-term effects, built up, organ failures and all kinds of stuff. That was what I was more concerned about than anything. Because people who probably won't die of COVID will probably end up suffering some level of, degradation in their mental health, in some capacity.
So tell me, what does your next 5 years look like? What goals do the Kwak Brothers have?
Yeah. In fact, this morning I was writing down all my visions and goals, and just writing out what I want to see the next 5 years. Of course, being a man of faith, I'm praying through it. See if this.
Amen.
This is
What's his name again?
Who
you follow?
Oh, the guy named Jesus from Nazareth. Yeah.
Yeah, you follow Jesus.
I follow Jesus. Yeah.
You know that's not his name.
Yeah, his real name is Yeshua or Joshua, right?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's
right.
From Hebrew word.
Did you know that before I told Daniel?
Yeah, no. So funny.
Did he come home and say, "Dude, you got to check this out"?
Yeah, here's all the questions that Brad's gonna ask you. Just write them down, right? No, but I actually, because my parents, my dad's a pastor, church pastor, so he was reading literatures, Greek and Hebrew literatures, and being a kid, the curious kid that I am, picked up some of his books and read, the historical context of the biblical times, and it's really fascinating. But just prayerfully looking at my goals and visions for the next 5 years. Definitely
calling on the name of
Jesus.
Yeah, but why say that when he's not his name?
Yeshua, yeah.
Could let's say my name was Ryan.
Yeah.
And all I wanted to save your ass was, tell people Ryan saved your ass.
Yeah.
And then you went around telling everybody Ronnie saved your ass.
Yeah.
Like, why would you call me Ronnie if you know my name's Ryan?
Well, it's funny because in Korean, the name of Jesus is Yesu, which is actually more accurate for the Hebrew context.
100%.
Yeah, definitely more. Even the Jewish people today call Jesus Yesu, right?
Yeah, and by the way, that is his name.
Yeah.
It's just how you're pronouncing it.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, I believe, this isn't a fact, this is what Bradley believes.
Sure.
I don't know if anyone in the world agrees with me or has ever said this, but this is what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I believe your name is a sound.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a series of letters.
Mm-hmm.
So like Sam, which that's probably not even your real name, is it?
No.
Yeah. So Sam are the letters that get me to say Sam. So in Korean, it's Sam. In Mexico, it's Sam.
Yeah, it's
why?
soundbite.
Well, because I said it's Sam. And that's the sound that I named you. And it's the sound that doesn't change.
Right. And ultimately, it's the association of that sound, right? What do you associate that with?
But it doesn't change, is my point.
Correct.
Like people always say, my name in this language is, no, it isn't. Your name in any language is the same.
Right.
Period.
Right.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
So his name was Yeshua.
Yeah.
Why are we calling him Jesus? That's not his name.
Yeah, and I'm not a Latin,
And then I get a lot of religious people saying, well, it is his name. And man, I've casted out demons with that name. So there's power in that name.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused, but I'm still doing research. Just telling you. So you can look too. Ask your dad if he's a pastor.
Oh, for sure. So, my opinion on that is that, again, my opinion is it's been Latinized, Latinized, the Catholic Church have probably, translated that a couple of times and said, hey, we're going to call Yesu Jesus and make it easier for ringing.
Make it easier.
Yeah, make it easier, right?
Dude, who are you to change the name of that guy?
Sure.
Like, especially if you believe.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of the biblical figures, right? Like Jonah is actually Yonah, John, Johann, or depending on how you're reading it, Greek or Hebrew. I mean, it changes. I mean, all the biblical names probably changed, right? Just, throughout history, just for the sake of Latinization of the words, the names, but just walking with Jesus this morning, just kind of asking, hey, what should I be doing in the next 5 years?
Say Yeshua.
Yeah, it's just, hey man, that's just what it is.
But if that's his name, why don't you acknowledge that is his name? Someone confirm me, so I'm no longer using this nickname.
Sure,
that somebody made up because it wasn't him.
Yeah. Well, why not just call him Dad? Because that's who he is to me.
Why not just call him his name? Doesn't he tell you to do that in
Yeah,
the scripture?
yes, it does. But I think
So you don't want to?
there's a level of intimacy where I share, right? Because if everyone's got a dad, right? You don't call
But
him.
that's a title. That's not your dad's name.
Yeah,
Your
but
dad's
there's-
name is not dad.
Yeah, but there's an association of meaning and purpose behind that relationship.
That's a term of endearment.
Yeah,
That is a title. That is not a name.
that is not. You're correct. So
Just like when you call your wife my love. Her name's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
my love.
right.
That's a term of endearment.
So for me, there's more. I sense more intimacy and more closeness with yes, dear Jesus, right? If I call him Dad, hey, Dad, let's talk, right?
Well, we'll argue later.
Sure. Well,
But
we'll make an argument,
I
yeah.
urge you to really consider
Yeah.
looking into that, because
Yeah.
if I said to you, dude, tell everyone Brad sent you.
Mhm.
That's how you can repay me.
Sure.
And just tell them Brad sent you.
Yeah.
And then you just decide to say Barney sent you.
Sure.
Like, dude, I would not be very happy with you if I knew you knew
Sure.
my name, but you just refused to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do you keep telling everybody Barney when you know it's Brad?
Yeah.
I would be concerned with you,
Yeah.
especially if I saved your life.
Sure. Well, you also
And you knew.
Yeah.
Now, if you didn't know, because there's a lot of people, they've never
Sure.
heard this, so they can say Jesus all they want.
Yeah.
But once you know that's
Yeah.
not his name,
Yeah.
why do you continue to use it?
Well, I use it in the context. So here's the funny thing, right? When I'm speaking Korean, I'll say Yesu, right? So that,
Well, if I was you, I'd speak Korean the whole time.
so if I say Yesu to Koreans, like, oh, I know who that is. If I say Yesu,
You know why though? Because that was his name.
Yeah.
And no one perverted the truth over there, I guess.
Well, it has to do with how they translated it, and it was much easier to say that over there than here.
But that's
Yeah.
that's why your name's Sam.
Right.
It's easier
Yeah.
than whatever your real name is.
Right. But
Like
here's another.
you always see these Asian.
Yeah.
Because I don't ever know what actual Japanese, Korean,
Sure.
Chinese, but sometimes very hard to pronounce name.
Yeah.
Wang Nang Nang or something like that.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
So they go, we're just gonna call you Sam.
Yeah.
No, dude, that is disrespectful. That is like, let me hear your name. Let me say your name. And if you
Yeah.
respect the individual, you will learn the sound of their name.
Mm-hmm.
Right or wrong?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But here's another
So we're
thought for
talking
you.
about Jesus right now.
Right.
Dude.
And I don't-
that's a pretty important fella,
Yeah.
supposedly,
Yeah.
right?
I'm not disagreeing.
So
with
you got to go and
Yeah.
look and next time I hear you talking about him, I want to hear you saying it.
Hey,
Yeshua.
Yeah. Yeshua. Yesu. Yeah.
And then people will be like, damn, dude,
Yeah.
Brad sold Sam on it.
Well, the full name is Yesu of Nazareth, right? He's from
That's
Nazareth.
right.
He's from Nazarene, although he was born in Bethlehem. Or the Greeks called him Christ, the Messiah, right?
Christos,
Yes,
the anointed
Christos,
one.
right? The X, which in Greek is Christos, right? So going back to the 5-year vision, and here's another thought for you. Saul was Paul, right? And there's a lot of different names that were
Sharon is
interchanged.
Karen.
Yeah, Sharon is caring.
Paul was Saul and
Yes.
Sharon is Karen.
Yeah. So there's in the biblical context, there are a lot of biblical figures that had alternative names as well.
Yeah.
Like Saul was also known as Paul. That was first mentioned.
What was his name though?
It was Paul of Tarsus. Tarsus, yeah.
So Saul was Paul?
Yeah.
What was his name? He had one name.
It was,
given name.
He was born as Saul.
Right,
Right?
that
He
was his
born
name.
as Saul. Yeah, from Tarsus. So
I'm just going to start calling you like freaking Jerry.
yeah, you can call me whatever you want.
But you wouldn't get annoyed eventually?
I would.
Like
I would.
Jerry Kwak's coming in, folks, you'd be like, it's Sam.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone say goodbye to Jerry.
Yeah. Although I did contemplate changing my name in like high school or middle school.
To what?
I don't know. I was thinking, hey, maybe I go with Brian, I go with something else.
Dude, if
but
I was you, I would have adopted Rockva.
Rock the Kwak. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, people call me Kwaka-flocka, Quakamole.
Does anybody say
Yeah,
quack?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah.
That was Kwak.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't major in dentistry, man. I didn't go be a dental doctor, be a quack, right? Dr. Kwak. Just that would have been a huge mess up. But yeah, my 5-year vision, man. I've gotten really passionate lately in building software. I freaking love it. I don't know what it is. I think it's just my analytical, that creative, side coming out. As a kid, I loved drawing. I loved building, playing with Legos, just building things, right? It was really cool to do that. So when I got into software, I'm like, this is pretty cool. Like I got I get to actually, I get to actually design something and build something, and it does what it needs to do, right? And so lately I've been building different software tools to enhance their business. It's going even back to the whole mortgage payoff strategy.
I've been forgetting the bombs.
Drop them, man.
Yeah,
it's a Korean thing to do. Drop bombs.
Well, I'm just going to drop one only because you're probably thinking, damn, I didn't get any bombs. But that's only because I forgot to give bombs.
All right.
That's almost a compliment when you don't get bombs. Why?
We're into it, right?
Same reason we call him Jesus. We just decided.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Check it.
So
it's building software, 5-year goal.
Man. So, yeah, I'm building software now. I mean, I got 3 projects in front of me, just building them to enhance what we have now. I think that's really the future, man. I think software app development, I think that is the future. I think I call it digital real estate.
AI, brother.
Got to build digital real estate. It's, to me right now, my main focus is buying real estate, like physical real estate, like land, and buying up as much intellectual real estate as possible. Software, AI.
AI, bro.
That's the future, man. It's
AI.
Scary.
Mark my words. Like I created Lightspeed 20 years ago when no one was doing it.
Props to you.
Yeah. So, now everybody's like, oh, we got to do it. So 20 years later, now it's a good idea.
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah. In fact, that's what we're, one of the software projects I'm working on right now is using AI to automatically manage properties. So I'm going to be using AI that's going to do all the decision making.
You just go study AI, Sam, and you're going to be high in demand no matter what, and you're going to be a freaking multi-billionaire. Why?
For sure.
Because, dude, AI is the future.
Yeah.
AI is the future.
Yeah.
Period. I believe that 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
Even salespeople got something to worry about. That's why I tell people, build relationships, man. If me and you have a relationship, you're going to buy from me, even though you could get it quicker, faster, stronger, quicker from an AI robot.
Mm-hmm.
And, save even some money. Well, you're going to buy it from me because we have a relationship.
Right.
AI's hardly ever going to give you a relationship.
Right.
But the convenience of AI is going to just literally make everything AI based.
Yeah. Well, and also going back to your point, the whole relationship. I mean, people do business. It all comes back down to emotion, how you want to feel, right? It's like, sure, I can go buy from AI, but how do I feel, at the end of that transaction? If I got what I wanted, but I feel like crap.
Depends if it was relational or transactional.
Right. And I don't want to deal with that again.
Yeah, but have you felt crap buying a gallon of milk?
If the store clerk was extremely rude to me, yeah, absolutely. I'm going store next door.
So would it be better if the store clerk wasn't there? It was just the AI.
Yeah, I mean, if it was, hey, this is what I expect.
What if you showed up?
Yeah.
Put everything in your cart. AI already, just hit your card. You just literally walk into a store, fill up your cart, and push it out. We'll bill you.
That's already here, man. Amazon,
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Amazon's playing with. Yeah, Amazon already has it.
See what I'm
crazy.
saying?
Yeah,
dude, that's AI, bro. I'm telling you, AI.
Yeah.
I wish I was a coder. Are you a coder or are you?
I could do basic HTML and crap like that, but mostly I go and delegate it out to a team overseas. Really, like to build. If you are not a software founder or software builder, as long as you know how to think like a software developer and just know the architect, you're gonna be fine. And just delegate the rest to the people who work the grounds, right?
Right on.
Yeah.
Real quick, what is 2 books that you highly recommend for any entrepreneur?
I'm gonna go there, Brad. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go with the Bible.
Sure.
And here's why. I mean, all self-help, motivational books stem from some level of philosophy from the Bible. In fact, I would say all philosophy from the Bible. You look at Proverbs, that's all you need, man. That's how to live life right there, right? Of course, all the 4 Gospels. So the Bible, the first thing. I think in the next book, that's on the secular column of things. I mean, they're all. I mean, a little bit. This is kind of a trick question because depending on where you're in life, I would recommend different things. But I guess to cover generalities, I'd say more than ever, I think more people need to read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Like
Covey?
Yes. I think my generation, the millennials and then the generation after, absolutely needs to read this book. Absolutely. I think, and I'll be critical with my own generation. I think my generation, a large amount of people in my generation have failed to understand what responsibility is. And I think it all comes back to they never failed. Mom and dad took care of everything for them. They never really knew pain. So when they see pain, they're like, this is not normal. I don't deserve this. But the beauty is pain is part of our life, and it is here. It's embrace it. And the more you accept and embrace it, the more beautiful it becomes. But I think a lot of our millennials, boom, there you go. I think a lot of the fellow millennials don't do that, and they get disappointed. And I think a lot of times, and if I'm going to go political, I think that this is why they love socialism, because hey, socialism gives you free stuff and you don't have to work for it. And yet, of course, very little people know that socialism doesn't promise you that your potential. It promises you security, but
sustenance.
Right, and everyone's equally poor. That's essentially what socialism ends up being.
Damn, I might have got COVID from you. Actually, I don't even put that in the universe.
Yeah.
I'm actually immune. I'll never get it.
Yeah.
Folks, I urge you to go to their YouTube channel if you're interested in investing in real estate and all these little tips and tricks, and they just give it out. It's Kwak Brothers, Kwak Brothers on YouTube. Their website is thekwakbrothers.com. You can follow them at the Kwak Brothers on social media. You can go pick up their book, 0 to 5 Units in 1 Year. They've got a podcast called Property Management Automated. And you have a show called The Closing Table.
Yes.
So, I mean, you're just basically just dishing out the golden nuggets, giving it out there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. In fact, we're getting to a phase where we're going to start to kind of narrow down our content, because I think part of what we failed, and I'll share everything as far as my vulnerabilities and my failure. I think what we failed to do is narrow down and focus on one set of content. I love what you're doing with the Dropping Bombs. I think we were trying to put too much out there in terms of variety, right? Which could be good, could be bad, but I think where we are and we're in the marketplace, I think we got to double down on a specific content and make that juicy as possible.
Yeah, go deep.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming out here.
Yeah.
And tell Daniel I said hello. Folks,
Sure.
Go follow this cat. And as always, keep it real.
Absolutely.
Dropping bombs with the real Bradley. Subscribe now.